depress the bladder inside the carburetor. Now I depress that very lightly and blow. And you'll be able to see fuel come up this line and into the carburetor. Now don't overdo it. You just want a little bit in there to fill up the line. You're obviously going to leave this cap off. This either goes securely away in your tool pouch or in a zippered pocket if you're going to take it with you. You don't want anything falling out of your pockets, and that's another very important thing with the unit in pre-flight. You don't want any loose objects in your pockets that you don't have a zippered pocket for or anything like that, because it will fall out and go back into the prop and break your prop. Okay, I'm going to show you how to put fuel into the carburetor. This is the vent tube that goes into the tank. I should say into the top cap. It does not go into the tank. I have a cap to prevent any debris, dust, insects, or anything from going down in there. Take every precaution for that. I usually take a small Allen key. A small piece of metal will work. You want to keep it somewhat big and make sure that there's no sharp edges. And this is the bladder inside the intake. They need to depress to let off pressure inside there so that you can get fuel up into it. So you're going to put that in there, slight little pressure, and then you're going to blow on the tube, like so. Ever so slightly, and I can look down and I can see my fuel line is clear, so I can know when fuel is going up in there. You don't want to overdo it. You just want enough fuel in there to start it and get fuel in the line. Now you want to make sure that the cap, either put it in your tool pouch for when you come back and you can put it back on, and or in a pocket that has a zipper. If you don't have pockets with zippers, don't carry anything in your pocket. You want to prevent any FOD, foreign object damage, from going into your prop. Any loose change, knives, anything you have like that, make sure it's in a zippered pocket. Or to prevent any change or loose change or knives from coming out into the air, not just damaging a prop, but also to fall on people or property, which could hurt very much so in a lot of different ways. Charging unit, which is right here, has a male and a female. What you want to do is hold both wires with your hands, left hand, and then only pull on the yellow part on the top and pull that apart. Now you'll see you can only connect it one way. Makes it very simple. Now what you want to make sure is you plug it into the battery line, which goes up into the batteries, and not the one that goes back into the electronic box. Not a huge big deal if you do, but we want to charge the battery, not the electronic box. Batteries themselves will take approximately anywhere from 6 to 12 hours to charge on a low trickle charge for the adapter. You can't overcharge them, so you don't have to worry about that, but you don't want to leave them plugged in for a long period of time. The usage depends on when you need the charge. There are times where you can get 3 to 5 and sometimes even up to 7 to 10 flights before you'd even have to charge these batteries. It also depends a lot on when you decide to shut the motor off in air, if you do that and restart, or how long it takes to start the motor. Those are all factors in on when you need to charge the batteries. Again, it's not recommended to shut the motor off unless you've picked out a landing area below in case the motor doesn't start. Okay, there's 2 bolts for the exhaust mount, 2 rubber mounts, one here and one here. When you're going to mount the exhaust back on, you're going to take these out. And don't drop the screws. And your exhaust right here, exhaust manifold. Okay, grab your exhaust, expansion chamber, and muffler, and we're going to slide it on. Now before you do, you want to make sure that you put this rubber piece over it, the springs, and the spring retainer, which is the wire, metal wire with the rubber wrapped around it. Okay, put that over, slide it over the exhaust first before putting it onto the manifold. Like so. We have this hanging here. Now these are going to clip like so, and then you take either a screwdriver, or I like to use needle nose pliers, and you're going to pull this end up to here, like so. After that, like I said before, you're going to make sure that the metal part, the metal part does not touch the exhaust itself, because of the vibration it will rub through the chrome and eventually the metal itself.